Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. Oh, good grief. I think the fun part is for before I show up. Hey, Geezer and Junior and Stefan and let's see who else is. What are you guys up to? Hey, Bruce Williams watches. Oh boy, you guys have been busy. All right. Sounds good. Video's good. Great. Thank you. You guys all. Hey, GMT Master. Okay, just to give you an update on what we talked about last time, I uh, I sent an email to Rolf Lang and hi Eddie, and asked him about the possibility of buying the what's it called, Cataletto Black, I think is what he calls it. This is his hand wound movement. I think it's 2.5 hertz, but it might be 3 hertz. I know it. I'm almost positive it's not 4 hertz. And so that would be a real, craftsman-made movement. That'd be a fun thing to work with. Hi, Mark. And oh yeah, hey, Mark. So anyhow, so I and I also it was really funny. I got an email from Vutenlanen and Caton asking, "Hey, did you get our last email?" That was the one that they said, well, as soon as we have a 2D and 3D rendering and all of this other good stuff, I sent them an email. I asked them two things. I said, first of all, I said, I don't know how to work a 2D or a 3D CAD, anything like that. All right. The reason I did that is that I wanted to sort of have them say, well, we can do that if you give us this or something like that, rather than, I guess it wouldn't be impossible to find somebody, to take care of that. So, anyhow, so and I'm waiting to hear back from them. And like I said, this was this morning. The email I got from them was logged as 2:18 a.m. in the morning. So they're about 6 hours ahead of us. So that would have probably been about, I don't know, 8 or 9 in the morning. So I'll see what I get tomorrow, and we can talk about that. Hi, Mr. Gumby. How you doing? Lee Todd. How are you? Um, I often think that and come to the conclusion of yes, as we all have the same passion for watches and don't have to live with each other. That's great. Hi, Mark. That's very good. Okay. One of the things that came up, and I was curious about Rolex and Chopard and Chanel and Tudor pulled out of Basel World or Basel World. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Hi, Blake. Um, so, oh, by the way, I was asked. I've got on my Langenheim Frederick II, one of my favorite watches. Okay, so let's talk about that. Some interesting kinds of things. Now, if Basel World is a lot bigger than Rolex and Chopard and Chanel and Tudor, and they're other than Chanel, which had some interesting entries. I don't know if I'd go to any of those if I went to Basel World. I'd probably head over to the AHCI, I think it's in there, with the Independence Group and hang out with them. But uh, I've never been to any of those giant shows. The ones that I've been to have been to the Watch Time show in New York. I've gone to several of those. And so I don't know how much good they do or not. If on social media, if somebody puts out a new Rolex or a new Patek Philippe, I think Patek Philippe was another one that pulled out. People are going to know about it pretty quickly. And on the other hand, you have watch stores and so forth. Oh boy. Um, are you having trouble? Is the picture okay and everything? Hey, Truth Fears, how you doing? Buffering, yeah, yeah. Doggone it. I don't know what causes it on this thing. Um, if I restart it, we're gonna have to all okay, they're good. All right, good. It may have been a temporary thing. I got a little notice up there saying something's going on, but now it's gone, so maybe it's okay. Okay, so first of all, the question I had was, does okay, Mr. Gumby buffering just a little. All right, me too. Good photo. Sound is only fair. Okay. Um, okay, a small crackle on the sound. You can live with that. It's probably the internet, so bear with me on that. All right. So let me let me see if anything is on. Hang on. I'll see if I nope. Quit here and quit this. I'm gonna see if I have anything else open. No, that's it. Everything else is closed. Big jets flying over. We got everything. All right. Hey, Joe R. Um, oh, good. When you have a dearth of Rolex in your collection. Yeah. When you have a lot of taste and no Rolex, you get buffering. Is that what you're saying, Joe? Hey, Fahrenheit 451. Okay. Um, so the first question I had is that I'd like to kick around with you guys is how important is that? If they don't have if a watch company, a big watch company like Rolex or Chanel or whatever or Patek Philippe, if they don't show up there, will that hurt them? Relative, or is it something that if they don't go, someone else will steal their customers? I don't know. Again, this is I'm throwing this out there, and so that's one question I had. How important is it for watch companies? The other one is some interesting things are heading toward Geneva. In the story that I read, they talked about joining up with what used to be called SIHH and now is called Watches and Wonders, something like that. Why don't you? I wish they had something simple like call it meatballs or, but they have these names, either a bunch of initials that I get mixed up or, Watches and Wonders. Okay. Um, let's see. So, okay. So they're going to Geneva now. And Rolex was talking about, well, we're going to do something and then team up with Watches and Wonder, which may be sequential. In other words, Watches and Wonders will have their show, and then that'll be followed by Rolex and Friends. I don't know how they're going to do it. But the interesting thing about that to me is that Chanel teamed up with this Kenesi, I think is the name of it, and they're making the movements for the um, Chanel J12. And they're also making either the same or a similar movement for Tudor, but they're building a big building together with money from Chanel and Tudor. And I don't know what's left of poor old Kennedy, or Kenesi, I don't know how they pronounce it. But they're building the building in Geneva on land owned by Rolex. Okay, so here you got this. I guess the guys that, according to Rolex, well, Basil World didn't, they were getting something was wrong. I don't know what it was, and so we decided not to go there anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen because SIHH was Richemont show pretty much to a great extent. but they also invited some independents, whereas Basil World had all of the AHCI people there, which is certainly independents. So what I was wondering, so what do you think about the two questions? First of all, what do you think how important are these big shows anymore? And one of the things that may happen this whole worldwide pandemic may say, well, it didn't affect our sales in one respect because we didn't go to the show, or at least it didn't to the effect if we spend $1 million to go to the show and we make $10 because we went. That's not very cost effective. What do you guys think? Sad to say, but reality is, watch industry is shrinking faster than a pecker in a pool. Oh, truth fears. All right. Jesus. Um, okay, so it's shrinking. Okay, see, all brands today have to go to the consumers and engage them. Okay, now who are the consumers that are engaging? Al, is that? I mean, like, do they go to them online, or do they go to them in person? I'm trying to think how um how much. Like, does anybody who goes to the watch time show see a watch and they say, "Oh man, I gotta have that watch"? Um, I'm trying to think. I've seen. I mean, my problem is when I go to a show, it's not seeing one watch I want; it's wanting them all. And I don't know. I just was curious what you guys think. Hey, the Watch Lounge. Hey, everybody. Hey, Bill. We're in the Sin 104. Way to go. Uh, Truth fears. He got away with that one. Usually our little blocker comes up and will grab you. Okay. Okay, let's forget tooth fears. Tooth fears filling in for Clyde. All right. Okay, doke. So let's see, now you got him started. How come you do that? Wind him up. All right. Yeah, okay, Bruce. That you see them all there. And I can't afford those. But you know, sometimes what'll happen is that you're there, you see some really great watches, and you can't afford them, but you may start saving for them, or you may start looking for good buys on them. I don't know if that happens or not. It's funny. At one of the first shows I went to, the New York show, um, Christine Hutter was there, and the watch that most impressed me was this thing they had I think it was called a tough net or tough nut two net, something like that. But you wound it up with like a bar lug. You just wind the old bar lug up, and it was like a strap. You'd wind the thing up. I just thought that was very cool. Now it was a woman's watch, I think, and and also with a lot of her stuff, it's just like priced way beyond what I'd ever want to pay for it. Now there's some other ones that are way beyond what I want to pay for it. I end up paying for it, so there's that. Oh, I know, Junior. It's like this is like this is why I didn't go into junior high teaching. What happens is that this thing starts out there. Not me, but it. Okay. Um, do you like Phil Paul Thorpe? I don't know. Paul, he was around for a while, and then there was a robbery or something, and Paul got freaked out and he took off, and then he was back again. Yeah, Paul's okay. I mean, he's you know, I don't know. I his the only problem I had with Paul, it wasn't his presentations or anything like that. It's the fact that he worked at a watch store. I think, and so like I'm thinking, well, is this a sales pitch? I tell you a guy I like, but I rarely listen to is Tim Mosso. I don't listen to anything. Listen to him. Oh boy, I'm going to buy one of those. He's excellent. And the other guy, Switzerland or wherever, I forgot, the Watches TV. His stuff is very, very good, but I can't understand a lot of him. He has a very thick accent and I have crappy hearing. So anyway, okay, Kaz, what's up? Hermes in China made 2.7 million in one day after opening again. Looks like I hope so. That's good news, Kaz. And it's an interesting thing too, Hermes. Now, are. I know they're part of Hermes, but if you look at their online website, they have all kinds of other things to blow money on, especially your wife. Okay, what else is going on? Does anyone remember West End watches? I do. Have you seen Jean-Claude Biver's personal collection? He also has a Jean Resonance. Yeah, he's got some good watches. You know, I, I, the guy's watches, the guy who has a neat collection of watches is, but they seem to be more affordable. Is the guy who does Watches TV. I once saw his collection and I thought, wow, this is a very cool collection. It was the thing that he had that was so good were well selected watches. It wasn't the price of them because some of them I know are fairly reasonable. They may not have been at one time, but he had some really nice ones. Trunk shows have been the mainstay of fashion industry. Watch shows don't have the expensive annual conventions with pavilions. They could do the fashion equivalent of runway shows with models. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting idea, having a trunk show. The business model of manufacturers' retail conventions have been changing for some time. Boy, I tell you, they better, Lee. That's, you know, the so many of the websites that are out badly construed. They're slow. They're this or that, and some web builders. They have there's the artistic type or the artistic component, and then there's I'll say the computing component, and there's a third one that both of them often miss, and this is their information design. Sometimes you'll have, I mean, to me, one of the worst sites ever has been Yahoo. Yahoo is just looks, I don't know, design wise, I don't know if they had a designer. On the other hand, Hermes, good God, just about most of the watch websites have these big, heavy graphic things. I mean, they're really nice, but here's the thing about that is that you only have to see it once. I mean, there's in programming, we used to call it dancing baloney. You'd have something up there, so like the guy with the straw hat, the yada da da da. If you see it once, okay, you get the joke, but it's like hearing a joke again and again and again. It's not funny anymore. It's not interesting. It simply takes time, and so your information gets lost. And because if anybody looking for a watch, you need to have them well organized. Now, they have. If you take a look at a collection organization, about what do you think? Should I get an Omega? What was it? Rats! I forgot. It was. It was a Omega Geography or something like that. I forgot what the name of it was. Globe Master. That was it. Called an Omega Globe Master. How do you find an Omega Globe Master? Well, I went to the site and I figured there would be a thing there that said Globe Master. Well, there wasn't. And I had to dig around for a while and I finally found it. Here's the moral to that story. Sometimes people don't realize all you got to do is hit the back click and you're out of there. I get, we used to look at, there's this guy who used to be at Yale University. He taught economic statistics. And one thing he discovered, which is really true, having been guilty at one time or another, is that you do all of this analysis and you come up with this thing, you come up with a big statistical model, and you say, "See, look at this." People look at this bunch of statistics, and their eyes are going like that, like, "Whoa," put it into a clear way. And so what he was looking for was a set of principles for clearly communicating information, yet at the same time selling his books that came as part of the seminar. It's really, I mean, so he'd have these seminars, you go, places were packed with designers and all of these people, but very, very good at it. And I think that, in a sort of a micro level, this is what watches are. They're information design to tell you the time. Now, some of them you look at, you can't tell the time at all because, somebody thinks that it doesn't matter. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't, quite frankly. But some of these skeletonized watches, my God, I don't know. Okay. What's going on? You remind me of the current annoyance of banner ads, carousel, and I remind you of that moves and blinks. It's like trying to read a regular newspaper with a hand waving in front of your face. Oh, Forbin, I'm sorry. I wish I could say the same. So bored. Okay, that's about 7 years ago. Okay, what's going on here? It's buffering for everyone. Something. Oh, sorry. My local AD just got Grand Seiko and Corona happened. Oh man, Swiss conspiracy maybe. The buffer is back. Ah, rats. I see your clients struggling at the same time. Not sure how busy it will be. The Northeast Groover. Hi, everybody. Hello. First one I've been since the pandemic. Okay, is it still crummy right now? This live stream doesn't count. You have to do another one this evening. It's too late. What if I do this? Okay, this usually works. If I'm going to restart the whole thing, it'll come up God knows where, and we'll do it that way. Would that be okay? So that okay, the buffer's okay now. I text my AD. I don't know, man. You're getting a bargain on that snowflake. Okay. Okay. Not okay again. Okay. All right. So here goes. All right. I'm going to disappear and come back, and I hope it's better. So hasta la vista. Be right back, I hope.